The Douglas TBD Devastator was born in a moment when naval aviation was still finding its identity. When it entered service, it was considered modern, an all-metal aircraft with folding wings and the ability to launch torpedoes directly from aircraft carriers. For the U.S. Navy, this aircraft represented confidence, the belief that air power could decide battles at sea. Early in the war, the Devastator carried out its missions as designed, striking enemy ships and supporting fleet operations across vast ocean distances. But warfare evolves faster than machines. By 1942, enemy defenses had improved, fighters were faster, and anti-aircraft fire was unforgiving. The Devastator suddenly found itself flying into danger with little protection. Nowhere was this more evident than at the Battle of Midway. Crews flew low and straight toward enemy carriers, knowing they were exposed. Yet they pressed on. Almost every Devastator was lost. Their sacrifice was not in vain. By drawing enemy fighters down, they cleared the skies for American dive bombers that destroyed multiple Japanese carriers. The Devastator did not survive long in service, but its final mission helped change the course of the Pacific War forever. The Grumman TBF Avenger arrived as the answer to hard lessons learned early in the war. Larger, stronger, and far more survivable than its predecessor, the Avenger was built to fight through enemy fire and return home. With 3 crew members on board, it operated not just as a torpedo bomber, but as a complete combat system. Pilot, gunner, and radio man working together in dangerous skies. From aircraft carriers to island airstrips, Avengers hunted enemy fleets, submarines, and supply routes. Its internal bomb bay allowed it to carry torpedoes, bombs, depth charges, or rockets depending on the mission. While it was never the fastest aircraft in the sky, it made up for that with reliability and endurance. Crews trusted the Avenger because it could absorb damage and still stay airborne. As the war progressed, the Avenger became essential to anti-submarine warfare, closing the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans to enemy movement. By the end of World War II, it had earned a reputation as one of the most important naval aircraft ever built. Quietly effective, brutally dependable, and absolutely necessary. The Douglas SBD Dauntless proved that accuracy could outweigh speed. Designed as a dive bomber, it attacked from altitude, plunging almost vertically before releasing its bombs with deadly precision. This approach made it one of the most effective ship-killing aircraft of the war. While slower than fighters, the Dauntless was rugged, stable, and capable of surviving damage that would destroy lighter aircraft. Its defining moments came during the battles of the Coral Sea and Midway. While torpedo bombers suffered heavy losses, Dauntless crews struck from above, smashing Japanese aircraft carriers and turning defeat into victory. These attacks didn't just damage ships, they shattered enemy momentum. The Dauntless earned the trust of pilots because it behaved predictably in a dive and could bring crews home even after intense combat. It wasn't glamorous, but it was reliable. In a war where seconds mattered, the Dauntless delivered results when it mattered most, cementing its place as one of the most successful American aircraft of World War II. The Curtiss SB-2CC Helldiver entered service carrying heavy expectations and heavy problems. Intended to replace the Dauntless, early versions suffered from poor handling, structural weaknesses, and reliability issues. Pilots were skeptical, and crews gave it an unflattering reputation. But war does not wait for perfection. Through constant redesign and field modifications, the Helldiver gradually became more capable. It carried heavier bomb loads, flew faster, and could strike tougher targets. As American industrial power surged, the Helldiver filled carrier decks across the Pacific, delivering sustained firepower against enemy positions. Although it was never beloved, the Helldiver performed its role. It represented the reality of wartime engineering. Imperfect machines pressed into service, improved, through necessity and used relentlessly until victory was achieved. By the end of the war, thousands had been built, and despite its troubled reputation, the Helldiver had done what was required of it. The Douglas A-20 Boston, known to many as the Havoc, was built for speed, surprise, and relentless pressure. Unlike heavy bombers that relied on altitude, the A-20 fought close to the ground, racing toward targets at low level before defenses could react. Its narrow fuselage and powerful engines gave it agility, making it one of the fastest light bombers of the war. The A-20 operated across multiple theaters, serving Allied forces in Europe, the Pacific, and with the Soviet Union. It attacked airfields, rail yards, supply columns, and troop concentrations, often flying into intense fire. Variants adapted the aircraft for night fighting, reconnaissance, and strafing missions, proving its flexibility in an evolving war. However, speed came with trade-offs. The cramped fuselage limited crew movement, and damage could be unforgiving. Crews relied on precision, coordination, and timing to survive missions. Despite these risks, the A-20 remained in service because it delivered results. It struck fast, hit hard, and withdrew before the enemy could respond effectively. The Boston Havoc never sought attention, but its constant presence wore down enemy logistics and morale. It was not a symbol of overwhelming force, it was a weapon of persistence, and in a long war, persistence mattered.